This is Tom Fox. I found Professor Alexander Dill's podcast today very informative, particularly around the changes in the legal structure of anti-money laundering laws and countering terrorist financing. Very informative. Of course, he focused on the Patriot Act, and with the caveat that it had been improved after the passage of the anti-money laundering law of 2020, he pointed to three key points that he thought showed why the Patriot Act was so important to the safety of the United States. Number one, it prevented another major terrorist attack after 9/11. Although we had some smaller incidents, we had nothing close to what happened on 9/11 or indeed in Madrid and London. Second was it changed the focus from simply detect to prevent, becoming part of the modern triad of a best practices compliance program, prevention, detection, and remediation, and really emphasizing this protection aspect. The objections of U.S. financial institutions to revealing or releasing customer information and transfer amounts also fell by the wayside after 9/11, and that was an important part of anti-terrorist financing going forward. And finally, the third part was that it reduced the amounts that we had to look at for terrorist financing. I was not aware that the amount of money transferred by the 9/11 hijackers and terrorists was less than $500,000 in total. So we became much more granular looking at amounts of money. Obviously, suspicious activity reports are down to $5,000. So he thought that was a key component of the Patriot Act as well, and how we've used that going forward. Every compliance practitioner is aware of prevention, detection, and remediation, and every compliance practitioner has now had impact from the change in the Patriot Act, which really moved out into a much broader series of laws going forward from these concepts. Professor Dill was in business in Manhattan and went to work, and he has some very poignant observations about his reminiscences from that day. He also looks back on his reflections of where we are, things we could have done perhaps differently over the past 20 years, and really with the fall of Afghanistan and Kabul, what all of that means to him personally.